2 for $25. Because of sponsors, all the proceeds support the pets at the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter.
This is the old General David Mills with an invitation to a whole different radio program.
It's radio how it used to be. Recorded live, completely unscripted, and uncut. Hey, I'm Ren, the second half of the dynamic duo.
Join Ren and I every Sunday at 11 a.m.
It's the wake-up call, exclusively right here on KSJE FM, 90.9 and 103.3. Join us, won't you?
Man Dance Academy presents Farmington's Youth Ballet in their 13th annual performance of The Nutcracker. The ballet will be performed at the San Juan College Henderson Fine Arts Center on Friday, December 17th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, December 18th at 1 p.m. Tickets for all shows are $12 for children and seniors, $14 for adults. Find out more online at mandanceacademyinc.com. That's mandanceacademyinc.com. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, a community-owned and operated hospital. Here for you when you need us. From emergency care to routine checkups and screenings, caregivers are here and ready to provide the safe, high-quality care you need close to home. Online at sanjuanregional.com with the latest health information and resources to help you live life better here. "11 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Thursday morning, December 16th, 2021. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE, 90.9 FM over the air here, of course, in San Juan County, New Mexico, 103.3 FM over the air in Durango, Colorado, and streaming everywhere else on the planet from our website, KSJE.com. Welcome also to our viewers who are watching this visual radio program. It is streaming live this morning out to the KSJE Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our Twitter accounts. You can watch on any of those places. This morning, coming up, we're going to be talking with guests from the San Juan County Fire and Rescue Department, some holiday safety tips, talking about some recruitment opportunities to join them, and also some training opportunities as well. That's our focus on the first part of the program this morning, beginning in the next few moments, right here on KSJE. Then later on this morning, we're going to get an update from the Salvation Army. They were the victims of a theft in Farmington earlier this week, and along with their van, about $500 worth of toys for local children were stolen. We'll talk about how that is going, the investigation, and the efforts to replace all those toys before the holiday season. That's coming up later on today at 8:50 a.m. in a live interview here on KSJE, so we hope you'll join us for that as well. Next hour, of course, it is Roving with the Arts at 9 a.m. Mick Hess will be here. He is playing selections from Brahms on the program today. You can enjoy that at 9:06 after the news here on KSJE. And if you're not a Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter person, you can also connect with us on our Instagram page as well. And if you're a podcast person, we invite you to connect with KSJE wherever you listen to podcasts. You can subscribe for free to KSJE podcasts at places like iTunes and Spotify and iHeartRadio and Pandora, Podbean, and much, much more. Check us out. Take us with you this holiday season, and maybe hear some other programs that you may find an interest in. Let's talk about the weather, shall we? Outside, it's a sunny morning so far here in Farmington at the moment. 19 degrees outside our studios here at San Juan College. We are expecting some increasing clouds, however, throughout the day today. The high 42 in Farmington this afternoon. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 22 degrees. Partly cloudy again tomorrow with a high of 38 on Friday. Clearing up, 17 for a low Friday night, then mostly sunny skies on Saturday with a high of 38 degrees. 39 with sunshine on Sunday, maybe lower 40s for early next week, and mid-40s around Christmas. So that is the look at the long-range forecast here this morning. Let me introduce my guests who are here with me this morning, as I mentioned, from the San Juan County Fire and Rescue. Jordan Richards is here. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. Great to have you here. Also joining us for what I understand is his radio debut is your training chief. That's Jared Stock. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Good to have you here as well. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And congratulations, because this is your radio debut, and you're kind of new to the training job, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, we'll talk more about that in just a moment.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very good. Jordan Richards, let me start with you, though, a little bit about the holiday season. We were talking before we came on the air this morning that there have been some structure fires in the area. We didn't talk about what caused them. I don't know if we know that just yet, but there have been a few, not in pretty quick succession, two at the same time, you were telling me.
Yeah. We've been fairly busy the last week or so, maybe even 2 weeks. We had two go out simultaneously. So far, none related to holiday decorations.
Okay.
We've been able to complete some investigations and, like I said, not tied anything back directly to holiday decorations. But it's still a good thing to cover, when we have the opportunity.
Right, very true. And so, talk to me a little bit about what was going on, I guess. And we're grateful there was no serious injuries from any of those fires either. We were talking about, right?
Yeah. So one was an outdated appliance. We had some issues with that. Another one, I don't know what the cause of the one over this weekend or this week was. Off the top of my head, I know it wasn't related to Christmas decorations. They didn't have any up. And the third one was a gas explosion that again due to some faulty piping. But
Gotcha.
And that was actually in an RV. But no injuries to report, so that's good. We're grateful for that, and we were actually able to save the majority of the belongings in all three. So
good to know. That's really good. And but I guess when you have a fire or two fires at the same time, and you have a mostly volunteer response, that's got to put pressure on those resources.
It strains us for sure. We enlisted the help of Farmington Fire on one of the fires, but we were able to get an adequate response to both fires that happened simultaneously and mitigate those quickly and safely. So
good.
That said, we're always looking for more volunteers. We're always looking for more firefighters. So if you're looking to do something, give us a call.
We'll talk about that. And indeed, there's great opportunities, right? For folks who want to do that. And so, just other tips, I guess, this holiday season. I know sometimes we hear a lot about fireplaces or wood stoves, or people may be clearing out the ash or the partially burned wood or things like that, and not making sure it's out completely, and that can maybe smolder for a while, and all of a sudden it flares up. Is that something that's still a concern, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one thing that we really like to encourage people to do is get your chimney inspected and cleaned professionally, at least every year. It's something that we don't think about. We only use it for part of the year, especially this year, because it's been such a mild winter. Make sure that you're getting that cleaned and inspected. Somebody, use a professional. Don't just stick your head up there and take a look. There's things that you need to look for.
And I would say, too, I'm sorry to interrupt,
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I know the price of natural gas and propane are pretty high, and so maybe folks who haven't used their wood stove or fireplace in a while are going to use it this year.
Yep.
And so who knows what's up there?
Yeah, exactly.
Or what moved in over the summer.
Birds' nests and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so definitely have it inspected and cleaned before you fire it up. When you're removing those coals, make sure that they're completely out. Don't put them in plastic containers. We see that a lot.
Right.
Put them in some kind of metal container well away from the house. Make sure they're thoroughly drowned before you leave them alone. Don't ever throw hot ashes in your dumpster or trash bin or anything like that. So
right, yeah. My rule of thumb was always leave it outside for at least 24 hours.
Yeah, well away from the
after
home.
you douse it, and then look at it suspiciously.
Yes,
would be my thing. But
absolutely.
but that's one thing. I know outdoor lights and things like that. I mean I know folks like to have a great display, but if you overload those outlets, that could cause a problem too, right?
Yeah, well, and what we like to try to encourage people to do is go out and buy LED. LED draws a lot less power. It doesn't heat up. Those old incandescent bulbs, they're classic, they're beautiful, they're dangerous.
And expensive. Right, they use a lot more power.
Yeah, they use a lot more electricity. Your bill's going to skyrocket. So LED doesn't heat up like incandescent does. So if you can switch over to LED. If you can't, don't plug multiples into one outlet. Don't daisy chain circuit or surge protectors together,
Right.
We see that quite a bit too. So
Good advice. And anything else you can think of that you've seen in your long career here that folks try to do at the holiday or other times, I guess, that could be unsafe?
there's so many things that people try to do to mitigate the safety, the built-in safety features. So don't mess with your circuit breakers. If it pops, it pops for a reason. So don't try to overcome that safety feature, and just be cautious overloading outlets. Be aware of what circuits are powering what in your house. So
Right, very true. And I guess now would be a good time maybe for a reminder to check your batteries and your smoke detectors if you haven't done that.
Absolutely.
We're supposed to do that at the time change, but
Yep.
maybe folks didn't do that, or if you didn't and thought, oh yeah, I need to do that, holiday time may be a good time to
Sure.
check them anyway, right?
Every 6 months. So if you want to go with time change, that's a great plan. Christmas and 4th of July, 6 months apart. However you can work it out, every 6 months. And then we also recommend getting those. So they're available at hardware stores. 10-year battery. That way you don't have to worry about, okay, well now I got to get up there and replace the battery. You still need to check the 10-year batteries every 6 months, but once they're in, and at that 10-year mark, you just pull the whole unit off the wall and replace it.
Good advice. Very good. That's great. My guest this morning from San Juan County Fire and Rescue. We are talking a little bit about holiday safety tips, and also want to talk a little bit about training and recruitment. Jared Stock is here, the new training chief for the department. Again, welcome, and talk to me a little bit about your job. You were there to train these volunteers and others who are part of the department, right?
Yes, sir. So my main job is building the entire kind of program for the county.
Mm-hmm.
I also kind of the liaison between when we send people to classes at the college here for fire classes or EMT classes. I'm kind of the bridge between the people in charge here than what we're doing.
Right.
We have a bunch of different districts, and they kind of do their own training program. My job is to group them together so we're across the board level training and as adequate training as we possibly can.
Right. Sounds good. And remind us again how many different districts there are across the county with the San Juan County Fire and Rescue Department.
Across the county right now, I believe we have 10 total districts.
11. Bloomfield Fire. We have 11.
11 now, right?
Yep.
Very true. And obviously the idea would be that everyone can almost be, I would assume, maybe cross-trained, so that if somebody needs help, they can pull from another district, and they kind of know what the standards are and what's expected of them when they arrive on scene, those types of things.
So when we first start our training program, when they first go through the academy here, they kind of get the basic idea of how to do stuff and why we do stuff. We're in the process right now throughout the county of making everything more similar than what it has been in the past. So when we do go to different departments, we know where the tools are, we know where the equipment is, and we can pull off the truck and go to work really simple.
Right. And I guess scenarios like maybe having two fires at the same time might involve some of that cross-training and help from other districts to move over and help out wherever the need is greatest.
Definitely. When it gets busy like that, it starts getting interesting, and we get different districts that normally don't work together.
Sure.
The west side and the east side start merging a lot, and that's where the training kind of plays in to being able to do the job.
Right. Very, very true. And Jordan Richards, I know when we talk about recruitment, this training is part of what's involved, right, and included when someone wants to sign up to be a member of the department and to make sure that they are trained and know how to use all the equipment and all the different things that it requires, correct?
Yeah. So I think our training program is probably our best incentive to volunteer. We offer, awesome classes through the college. We also do classes in-house. All of these classes come with international certifications available. They're certified by the state. They're all free. You don't have to pay for any of them if you volunteer with us. So really, it's a great way for someone who's maybe looking to make the fire service their career, to kind of dip their feet, or for someone who's just looking to make a difference in their community. It's a great melding of those two groups. Regardless, they're going to have the same training though, and that's the best thing for our firefighters. It keeps them safe, and it's the best thing for our community that we're serving.
Right, very true. And Jared Stock, I mean, I know some folks may be thinking, well, I think it'd be great to get involved, but I don't know if I'm physically able to do all the jobs of a volunteer firefighter or things like that. And so does the training kind of match up with whatever the individual feels they're capable of doing, or take us through a little bit of that?
Definitely, we like to expose them, because firefighting is kind of harder than a lot of people think, but we'll put them in positions that they can be beneficial. So when they first start volunteering, kind of depends on the district, but if we put them in there for a couple weeks to let them start getting it, then we start putting them in. If you feel like you want to do it, let's go to the academy and let's see how it is. But the physically demanding part of it is kind of up there, so we like to break them in instead of just throwing them right into the fire right away.
Right, and I guess that's part of the recruitment process too, isn't it, Jordan Richards? About what do you feel comfortable doing? I mean,
Right.
I know if I were to sign up, you'd give me a flashlight and make me direct traffic probably, and not
We'll
pull
give
a
you a
fire
vest, too.
hose. Yeah, and
We'll
a
give you
vest.
a vest.
Appreciate that. But there are a lot of different, or even office work or other things I know too that you need help with,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, it's a lot of different types of opportunities.
Yeah.
For folks, it's not necessarily fighting the actual fire.
Right.
Although that's a big part of it.
It is. Actually, in all reality, when you look at the numbers, about 70% of what we do is EMS. So the fire aspect is really not a huge percentage. We do have a higher percentage than maybe the national average on fires, but the reality is that we're running a lot of EMS calls. We've got a lot of people who need one-on-one care and that specialized care. Again, we give training in. Again, national level certification. So in the EMS side of things. There's a spot for everybody, and we do have a physical ability test that is performed before you go through the academy to make sure that you can meet those stringent physical requirements. That said, we have a lot of people that look at the academy and go, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but they decide to go ahead and try it, and they do great. So it's part of the one of the really cool things about the academy is that it kind of pushes you to explore those limits that you have, and maybe even break right through the boundaries that you've set for yourself.
Sure,
and people are often pleased with that.
Right, very true. And talk to me a little bit, because I've been focusing really on the fire aspect of it, but your name has changed recently, the department's name.
Correct.
To San Juan County Fire and Rescue. And so rescue is a big part of what you all do, and the type of calls that you respond to, as you're mentioning. And so I imagine that's part of the recruitment and part of the training now, right? When you're talking about new volunteers.
Yeah. Rescue has always been something that we do, but we decided to more accurately describe ourselves recently. So when we talk about rescue, we're looking at technical rescues, so extrication, car accidents, stuff like that. High-angle rescue, we have a lot of outdoor places that people get into precarious situations. Swift water rescue with the rivers that flow through our county. We have lots of different opportunities. It's not all just crawling around inside burning buildings.
Right.
And we have our wildland team. It's fire, but totally different kind of fire. So there's lots of different avenues to explore.
Very true. And Jared Stock, that involves your training department too, then, right? To train in all these different areas that Jordan Richards is explaining to us.
Yes, sir. So with what Jordan was saying, we have our swift water calls and our high angle calls. Those kind of fall into special teams that we have, which we call it our tech team. That training is nonstop. We have training every month for our tech team, just depending on kind of what they got going on. So learning how to tie ropes again, because we forget how to tie knots a lot. But then in the summertime, hopefully we have good enough water, but we go down to the river, go down to the lake, and spend time there too. So if you don't want to crawl into a burning building and you like swimming, we definitely have an avenue for that as well.
There you go. And training opportunity.
We operate the only fireboat in the state of New Mexico. So
do you know? That's
we
right.
do.
Out of Navajo,
Out
right?
of Navajo,
you have a boat at Navajo Lake. That's very true.
do.
And I wanted to ask a bit. You talked about the wildland firefighting, which is completely different than some of the other types of fires that you do. But we've always heard about the wildfires that break out even from a lightning strike or things like that that happen. And many times, I think some of the volunteers and others have volunteered to go out of state to help out when the fires get bad. We've heard California and the Northwest and things along that line. And that's more of actual paid opportunity, is it not? For your trained volunteers, they get to maybe do some of that.
Yeah, that's a job. So we actually hire them on as temporary employees, and we deploy them out wherever they're needed. In fact, we were just talking this morning before we came over. There's 2 fires that broke out as a result of this huge storm that swept through our area and then up into Michigan. There's fires in the panhandle of Oklahoma and out in Texas, just north of Amarillo. So, there's opportunities
in December,
which is
right?
Unprecedented.
Yeah,
it's very, very unusual. But we send our crews all over the country, wherever they need to go to support the firefighters across the nation.
And for someone who's maybe discovered that, wow, this firefighting is a pretty cool job, and I'm getting the training I need, and I'm confident, that could be a particular line of work for someone, right? I mean, there are guys that travel, and women, men and women, that travel all over the country during that season, which is getting longer and longer, it appears to me, and do this for a living, right? Yeah,
it's a great seasonal job. Like you said, it's getting longer. We like to hope it's a seasonal job,
right?
But it's a great way to earn a little extra cash. They make decent money at it when you go out, so it's a great way to keep up on your training and still get involved. And like I said, we build our team out of our volunteers.
Right. Very, very true. But again, it is the training that's so important to stay safe when you're on these different calls, whether you're in county, out of county, wherever you are, and that's kind of what you cover, right, with some of the training that you do. And because we hear stories all the time of firefighters that get into situations and luckily have the gear they need to protect themselves, right, if the fire changes direction or what have you. I mean, it's a science. It really is.
It is. And we train our guys, and we hope that we never get into those kind of positions, but sometimes they happen. But
right. And how much training does someone need? Like if I or someone, not me, were to sign up to want to join, how many weeks of training would you require before you suit them up and get them out there?
Kind of depends on what they're going for, but if you interior going fighting fires, home fires, building fires, right now our academy is a semester long, and those will get you the required classes that you need to be able to go wherever you want and do actual firefighting.
Okay.
A couple districts kind of have their little bit of beginner programs, if you would, that train them up enough to where they can actually go to the fires, but maybe they're not going inside and doing the extremely dangerous stuff until we kind of control it. Then we can take them in to get them more on-the-job training.
Gotcha. And that's about 16 weeks, I guess, right?
Pretty close to 16 weeks,
so.
yeah.
Got it. And the rescue part of this, too, I want to talk a little bit about that, because that is another big part of the job that your folks do day in, day out, right? And so there's a little bit of EMS training, too? Or
So, along with Fire Academy, we give them a real basic idea of EMS. To continue your education in EMS, that's obviously more class.
Of course.
We have EMT first responders, we have EMT basics, all the way up to paramedics if we wanted to go that far. So each one of those classes is, the first responder and EMT are a semester long. I believe the EMTI or advanced EMTI,
right?
That's
2 semesters long, then the paramedics 2 years.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. So
Gotcha.
And you have to do each one consecutively.
I see.
You have to have a basic before you go to advanced, and advanced before you go to paramedic.
Then
Right.
Kind of talking like the Wildland Avenue. If you guys are wanting to do, if you don't like the fire as well, but you like the EMS side, it kind of helps build career paths for that as well.
Yeah.
Right, which is another opportunity for folks to get involved.
Yes, sir.
And that's the idea. And Jordan Richards, what's your wish list, right? How many volunteers would you like to have on standby for the San Juan County Fire and Rescue Department?
All of them.
Right?
In all reality, we probably need to double the size of our department.
Double?
So
Than what you have
technically,
now.
on the books, we have 200. Really, out of those 200, we're looking at about 100 that are active. And we would love to have, 300 or 400 active volunteers that, and the thing is, when we have that many, it's less time that you have to spend. And that's something that we cover a lot with our volunteers when they're first starting out, is this is a time investment on your end. Everybody carries a pager, and the pager is going to go off at really inconvenient times. But if there's more of us, we can spread that out. And so, that's really we're trying to re-engage, and that's the retention side of my job, right? So we're trying to re-engage those folks that we haven't seen in a while, but then also hopefully encourage more to come in so that we can spread that across a larger audience, and it's less work for the rest of us, right? So it's pretty taxing as it is right now, but if we can get more in, then it's better.
Right. And at the beginning of the program, we talked a little bit about the addition of the Bloomfield Fire Department to your purview. And so that's another area, right, where you could use more volunteers in and around the Bloomfield area,
Absolutely.
the Blanco area, I would assume, the area south of Bloomfield.
Well, and this is actually a really good point you bring up, Scott, is that you don't have to live in the response area to volunteer in that area. So our response area does not include any of the municipal part of Farmington, right, or Aztec. However, you can live in those cities and volunteer for us. We have options like Bloomfield that have live-in quarters, so you can actually go live in the station for a period of time and run calls in that time period. You're earning a stipend. So our volunteers do make a little bit of money.
Okay.
It's not purely volunteer. They make up to, it's just shy of $15,000 a year, which is, nothing to shy away from. It's not going to necessarily pay for a mortgage, but it's something to kind of help supplement gas,
Sure.
Car wear and tear, that kind of thing. And so you can earn that stipend while you're in the station for a block. We schedule our volunteers for blocks. And this is called our multi-district response crew, our regional program. So we have 3, one in Bloomfield, one in Aztec, and one in Kirtland. And those MDRC crews, multi-district response crews, cover multiple districts. So Kirtland covers La Plata and part of Lee Acres, and Bloomfield covers part of Lee Acres, and Blanco and Sullivan Road and DZ, and all those areas, so that we have a quick response. And then our volunteers, as they filter into the station from their job or home, wherever they're at, we're not delaying that response even more.
Right.
So we need volunteers on both sides. Some that want to hang out in the station for a certain block of time, and then some that need to just come from work.
Got it. And that's part of the whole idea of a volunteer department, right, is that you've got folks that are going to be there hopefully when there's an emergency.
Right.
They can get there right away and at least assess what's going on, and then see if we need to get more people there or more resources or whatever the case may be. And then you've got the other volunteers who are maybe at work, but the pager goes off. You did say pager, right?
Yes.
It's 2021, but
It is
pager. But you got one.
I'll show you. I'll show
Okay.
you what it looks
I
like.
bet it's cool.
Hold on. It's
But, okay.
it's a big brick,
There it is.
but it
Yeah.
it does.
Okay.
It makes lots of noise, and
We'll get your attention.
It gets your
when
attention.
There's an
It
emergency.
vibrates, and
there you go.
It talks directly. It listens to dispatch, but you can't talk back to dispatch on this. So it's
Well-
a little more advanced than your 90s.
Than the
on your
pagers we
hill.
remember.
Yeah.
I got it. Very good. And I bet the dispatchers like that you can't talk back to it.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I think there's a shout out for the dispatchers this
Yeah.
morning. But you've got the first responders, and then you've got the folks who may be at work. Pager goes off. They wrap up what they're doing at work, so they can't maybe respond immediately, but they can get there within hopefully 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of the idea of that second wave of then support
That's-
that comes out?
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, for a structure fire, we're looking at 4, 5, maybe 6 hours of work there. And for a crew of 3 people, which is what we usually staff those multi-district response crews, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So we need those other people that are going to filter in and help finalize those situations.
And that's not ideal, obviously,
No,
right? You
absolutely
can't fight
not.
a structure fire with 3 people. I mean,
No.
you need more people than that.
Yeah.
And that's the idea
Yeah.
behind what we're talking about. So for folks who are listening to us this morning and would like to maybe either find out more about it or they're ready to sign up,
Yep.
first of the year, and sign me up and let me get the training and things like that, what steps should they take right now?
Yeah, great New Year's resolution.
Yeah, right.
So visit our website, SJ County. Our application is at sjcounty.net/jobs, or you can just go to our Facebook page, San Juan County Fire and Rescue. We have an Instagram page. You can call us, 334-1180, or just stop by the office in Aztec on Oliver Street and come have a conversation.
Okay.
So there's lots of different ways to get a hold of us.
Very, very good. And Jared Stock, training begins, I guess, in the new year with the new semester. Is that kind of how it's scheduled?
We try to run a academy at least twice a year. So we start in January, then we start in August. So
Got it.
But then the training continues when you go back home and get out of academy. Do more advanced training, continuing up with your skills, because even though we go to school for it for 16 weeks, they're kind of easy to forget sometimes when we don't do them every day. But
Well, that's for sure. That's very true. But now will be the time, I guess, to if you want to be part of that January class, you could get signed up
Yep.
now.
give us a call, come get signed up, and get going. I think a bigger class is a way more beneficial class, so we could always use more people to train and get the most out of it.
Right. Very true. And as Jordan Richards mentioned, again, you don't have to volunteer where you live. You can actually, if you work in a certain location, maybe you could volunteer for that district and
Yeah.
be closer to those calls when the need arises, even though you live 30 miles away.
Yeah, we need them all across San Juan County.
So, very good. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you coming in this morning. Great information, great safety tips, and great news about how to join the San Juan County Fire and Rescue Department. So, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
You're very welcome. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays,
You too.
and we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely.
Very good. Thank you very much. My guest this morning here on KSJE. KSJE is supported by the Farmington Civic Center, bringing a full slate of entertainment to Farmington and San Juan County. Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, Tuesday, December 21st at 7:30 p.m. The Farmington Civic Center, 200 West Arrington in downtown Farmington. Find out more online at fmtn.org/shows or 505-599-1148.
How to make artificial intelligence not just intelligent, but also ethical. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace Tech. I'm Kimberly Adams.
Marketplace Tech is supported by Akamai. Akamai recently acquired Guardicore to provide zero-trust security solutions that help stop the spread of ransomware. Visit akamai.com/tech to learn more. And by Circle. Circle Yield is designed to provide